I'm not sure if... Oh, it is working. Oh, good. I see myself. I should probably make this say something that makes sense. I'm bad at streaming. It's been a long time. I will change the title. Learning Rust. Learning Rust. I guess I could call it that. Choose broadcast type for your stream. I don't know what that means. Learning Rust by brute force, perhaps? I'm going to, what am I doing here? Oh wow, I'm guessing just I'm the viewer and no one else is. I really hope that's the case. And I also hope I can trim this nonsense, because it takes a few minutes before I stop being overwhelmed and confused. I'm going to try to learn Rust by building a CLI thing. Alright, that's enough of a description. There is a chat window. Hello. Cool. I am trying to learn Rust because it appears to be inevitable. The hype is too much. And it's not entirely true because I've sort of... Ooh, bitrate is lower than recommended. Okay. How do I change that? Bitrate. 68 kilobytes per second, sure. Huh. Is that better? Open widget. Oh, good. I fixed it. Hello. Uh-oh. I've moved the window. Cool. Topic. That's on the wrong side of this thing. Welcome to me struggling with OBS. Struggling. How do I change the text there? This is a weird piece of software. Truly strange. OBS. Struggling. I don't need a topic. I'm going to leave that. Get out of there. Okay. Hello, no one. Or one person, perhaps? I am learning Rust now. Lower than the recommend... But I changed that. I am currently fighting... Nope, that's not true. Against OBS. Bear with me. Also, I'm not able to spell things. Welcome to the very beginning of something that may just crash. Excellent connection now. Alright, I keep getting these warnings about stream health, but maybe that's a lie, and I should just ignore it and just focus on programming then. But first I'm going to announce that I'm doing this stream, I think, if it is indeed working. How do I get a link to this stream? Now that I'm set up, is that a link? Pop out dashboard? What does that do? No. Go back. Hello all. I will actually begin in just a moment, if you are indeed curious. I have another window open that's not in OBS, or that's not being streamed, where I will announce that I'm streaming to my incredibly modestly sized internet following, just so it's a little less awkward in here and I can really feel the pressure to perform and not embarrass myself, though that seems difficult. Oh, there's a share button. I am bad at this. Share. Yes. On X? Yes, sure. That's not a good message. Default message. I know no one here can see this. I want to go back to the live streaming on that thing. There we go. Okay. Posting. I am going to try to stream some Rust learning. Stream myself learning Rust. God help us. God help me. All right. Okay. All right. I finally set up the things. Now I actually have to think a little bit. Oh, yeah. Wish I could share images. Maybe posting images will work. Nope, that's not going to work. Oh, I know. I will take a screenshot and open that. That has to work, right? Yeah, haha. Cool. That's really stupid. How do people stream? My God. It's a difficult thing. So yeah, I'm just going to talk to the now whopping 4 people who are here. Thank you for joining. I've just set this up, though it's taken me 10 minutes of streaming to 1 and then 0 people, and then 0 people, and then 1 and then 0 people again. I am going to try to build something in Rust, despite not really having used it very much before. This won't be truly from scratch because I've been exposed to it by, it just radiates out. The hype is the Chernobyl of coolness and features and whatnot. Everyone loves low-level code and fast code. I've resisted so far because I'm a Scala man and a functional programming man, but I've messed around with it a little bit. I think I've scanned the Rust book at some point, maybe a couple of years ago. And yeah, but the hype isn't dying down, and I want to make a CLI app. And as much as I love Scala, a CLI app in Scala is not necessarily the greatest at this moment because of a few reasons, but the JVM startup time, and it's just not really built for that kind of thing. And GraalVM, every time I try to get GraalVM to work, it just causes me 1,000 headaches. And Scala Native, while promising, doesn't let me use all the fancy effect systems I like to use yet. They're not really built for it. Hopefully that will change, and I can use Scala for all things, but may as well expand my mind and explore some things. So to the goal that I will be stumbling through, and certainly using a lot of artificial intelligence to help me here, because that's a pretty good way of learning things, I've found lately. So I'd like to make something like the following, or the above, this little I made a mockup in Figma for a CLI. That's really a pointless thing to do, especially because I didn't really do much with it. It's just this. The idea is oftentimes at jobs, you will have to use something like GitHub or GitLab, and you will also have an issue tracking system, which might be GitHub or GitLab, but sometimes it's something like Jira or Linear or some other Kanban software. And they tend not to mesh. There are tons of integrations for these things, but they usually need to be set up by the organization. And a lot of the times in the past, I haven't had companies. Really, this is an old problem I've had. Basically, this is a tool I built already in Haskell once, long ago, and it's a fun little project. Just buffering here. So yeah, the idea is this. You would type something into your terminal. I've named this project meld for no reason. I was thinking of a synonym for merge or pull request or something. Meld entreaty, meld supplication. But that was too long for merge request, pull request. But that was too long, so I just went with the meld part. The naming is super important, obviously. What's happening there? Okay, so you would type something like meld into your CLI, and your command line, rather, and you would get back something like this. It should be configured with your whatever issue tracker of choice. So you're going to have some issue trackers. Sorry for my bad communication at this point. I'm still processing streaming in my mind. So you're going to have something like, I don't know, Jira, GitLab, GitHub, I guess Linear. Be able to stick with those. Something like this. Trello. Oh yeah, so I can have AI tell me other Notion, Asana, Google Sheets. Sure. Use some kind of issue tracker. And then you have some kind of a VCS hub, I guess, which would be something like, yeah, GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket. Pardon the AI that's trying to help me here. I'm using Cursor, which is a pretty fancy text editing tool that has a whole bunch of Copilot-y features, which I will lean on heavily. So you have your issue trackers, you have your VCS, and often I wanted this workflow in the past. Once again, I said I built something like this in Haskell a long time ago for a job where I had the following problem. It's not a huge problem, but you know, we're programmers, so we can solve even the most minute of grievances. So I would have to go to the issue tracker and find the issue I was working on and probably pull out the key name to use in the branch. So yeah, I want to basically create a branch from an issue, you know, something like issue identifier / description, custom description. And that's painful to go into your issue tracker, select some text, go back, git branch. Okay, that doesn't take very long at all. But that's just one side of this thing. That's really the minor piece of it. The more annoying side is merging this, especially when there's no sort of built-in support, which can be done by organizations, but as I mentioned before, when no one was watching, that a lot of the times that isn't done. So I would also want the ability to merge a branch, or rather open let's just call them PRs, or a meld supplication. I'll call them that, just to not have any bias towards GitLab or GitHub. So I'd like to open a meld supplication from an issue as well, but particularly from the issue that I've branched off of, and have it sort of be populated, maybe be named something like issue 512. Whoa! Some kind of tag, and then the title of the issue, and then the description would exist which would be something like, maybe it would be the description of the issue, but more like closes and then issue link, whatever, HTTP, Jira, thing like that. So you would be able to just type the M key here, in this case, if you're on a branch for this issue, and it could identify that based on the prefix of the branch or some kind of config. I don't know, that's all to be decided. In the past, when I did this in Haskell, it was just based on the name of the branch. And if you're on a branch for an existing issue, it can then sort of hit the API for whatever your issue tracker is and open up something online in GitHub or GitLab. Which is sort of nice. The other thing it could do, back when I first made this thing for Haskell, is there were often times where there's a front end and a back end repo, and I'd be working on the same issue in a full stack manner. And it could also sort of cross-reference. So it would, when you went to open up an MR for a branch, it would know the other projects on your machine that you've branched off of that issue on, and it could sort of simul-merge them all, open merge requests, open merge requests across multiple projects, and cross-reference the issues. And it would also comment on the issue with a link to the merge requests, I guess. So those are the features. The multi-merge request thing is probably a little fancier, but a nice thing. Another thing it could do is then sort of possibly have some chat integration where it can also post a message to a Slack channel on your behalf, something like that. Or maybe just output some copy pastable link into the terminal for you to use. I guess I'm no longer fighting against OBS. Just myself. So yeah, that's the idea. And that's the tiny image that I will make go away now. And so there's a few problems. There are a few ways of attacking this, probably. I don't know. I'm not a master of Rust. As I mentioned, I don't really know it very well. I've mucked around before, here and there, so we'll see what happens. But the idea would be to, like if I were doing this in Scala, I would probably want some traits. And luckily there are traits in Rust as well. I'm going to disable you momentarily, Copilot, until I really do want you. So there's some traits for, obviously, like a issue service, something like the Jira linear, and then also a VCS service. And yeah, I guess that to start with. And the issue service would have methods like, def, or I should say fun, I suppose, to get into the spirit of, I just won't even have a prefix, but obviously get all my issues. So I guess, and any issue that you are tagged with in that system. And then also, we would probably eventually want to comment on a particular issue, so we can link to the merge request, and also possibly update the issue status, sort of move it to in progress or in review or something like this. Maybe when you branch off, it can move issue to in progress, and when you open a melts application, it could move issue to in review. So that would be cool. Live chat. What's that mean? Whoa! Unable to add stream marker. Oh, good. Sorry, I'm clicking around here. Create highlight video. No, I don't want to do any of that stuff. I'll go to live chat. Oh, spam may not be visible. Okay, no, I'll keep spam invisible. Anyway, so yeah, and then for VCS service, it would basically be sort of, or maybe I should say merge request service. I don't know. Open a merge request. I mean, for this, we'll definitely need get, and we'll probably need a comment or update a merge request, or I guess no, create a merge request would be the one. We would need to use get to push. So we probably want to also make a get service, but I'm not really sure the pattern that Rust would use, if it would make a trait around a set of get operations, or just you would just do that willy-nilly. I don't think there are any effect systems here, so I will be slightly sad, I'm sure. Create a merge request and comment on a merge request, but maybe that's all part of the same thing. And so yeah, I'm going to start, I think, with the traits, and maybe have an implementation of each of them, a test implementation, perhaps just in memory, so I don't have to share and set up a bunch of accounts on various issue tracking systems at the moment. That's could be like an offline experiment. I need to create a personal Jira account. That sounds like a very sad thing to do, and not certainly fun to watch at all. So yeah, let's just start with that, I guess. So I'm going to start coding. I know trait is needed. In fact, this is where I'm going to rely on I'm going to go with the AI, and we're going to see how well it does for me here. So I'm actually just going to start with, yeah. So in Cursor, you can just hit Command K, and you could just, give it a prompt. And I think it gets the context of the current file, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to say, create a generic issue service trait with a get all my issues method, which returns a set of issues. I can't spell, which should also be generic. I believe a type member. I believe a type member? I don't know if that's the exact term, but let's see what that does. Then I won't have to worry about the syntax. Okay, perfect. Trait issue service, type issue, define a type member, perfect. And get all my issues. Oh, snake case, yes. I rather do like snake case, actually. I think that is slightly more readable, even if it takes approximately one more keystroke per new word. It's worth the keystroke. Okay, so we're going to get back a vec of issues, and I actually probably need to make this async. Async. Hopefully it understands what I mean there. Okay, cool. That was easy. Just throw the async word in there. I'm sure this is, if anyone knows Rust at all, this is going to look, I'm going to create some awful things. Of course, we need to know some things about issue, and I believe it's possible to have a trait, have a sort of a type member to have a particular trait conformance as well. I'm not sure then if I might be using the wrong words for these things. But yeah, I guess this needs to be another trait called issue, and this would need something of getting a. Oh, I did def fn allow. Yeah, this, how would this work? So fn get key. There we go. But it doesn't need to be a string. I guess it could be a string. Is there any danger of it always being a string, or should I have this be something parameterized? I kind of want to make it parameterized because that sounds more fun. Just have a different key type per implementation. But maybe that's stupid. But that's definitely something that's important to get a key of these things. Issue service is never used. Well, I'm aware of that. Cool. All right. I'm pretty sure something will break eventually. I probably need to install something like Tokyo as well. But yeah, let's see. Let's just create a test in memory issue service. Okay, let's do that. We're gonna have some impulse in memory issue. Perfect. Gonna keep it very simple so I can just see what it does and see if it works. Oh, issues.clone. Okay, great. So that's the method clone exists for struct, but its trait bounds were not satisfied. In memory issue clone. Okay, well that seems fixable. Is that where I just have to say clone? No. I think I need to do copyable or something. Copy. You know what? This is where I'm going to have it fix it. Even though it might not be able to fix it here. No. So I'm going to select the problem. And then what I think I can do, this is so embarrassing, is copy it. Oh, wait. In-memory issue with a derived clone. There we go. I knew I needed to do something like that. So this needs to be clonable, because you can't just, there's no garbage collector. So now we can clone all the issues that are in memory here. I probably need to put this in some kind of wrapper. I know, from my ignorance, I know there's things like Arc, and yeah, Mutex, and RC, and cells, and things. Not going to worry about that yet. But maybe if I had some tests and it all explodes, I'll need to slowly traverse that terrain. Get all my issues. Cool. Yeah, how would I then... I also wanted to comment on an issue. So let's have some comments. I guess that would be a vec of string as well. And let us also have another method then called async comment on issue. Perfect. So the issue key and a comment string. Yeah, I think it'll be fine if it's just a string, because we're probably just going to be plopping these into API calls, so it doesn't need to be more type safe than that, but it would be fun. I'm still tempted. Oh, and I still haven't given this a conformance. Is that weird? I'm not sure if you can name the type after the type. It's probably going to be problems, but we'll let that happen. Oh yeah, fix with AI. Implement the method, please. Let's see how it updates a vec. I'm sure this is wrong. Maybe not. Oh, is it? Oh, it's definitely unhappy. Self.issues cannot borrow behind a mutable reference. Consider this changing this to a mutable at mute self. All right. I'll use you. That doesn't make any sense, does it? I'm going to just have the AI cycle on itself and then try to understand what it does if it works. Oh, at mute self. Huh. Oh, has an incompatible... Oh, true, of course. I think that makes sense, because up here I do not have it. For the most part, these services are not going to have any mutable state. So I wonder if it's possible to... this might be where I need some kind of wrapper around the vec, because I don't want the struct to be mutated. I want just the issues to be mutated. So I'm going to bring this over into the chat along with this and just try to paste that. I'm getting this error, but I don't want to make self mutable in this case. Is there a way of using a wrapper type like Arc or something? I suck. I'm new to Rust. That will fix this. Usually I just type absolute nonsense into AIs. I type like a caveman and don't worry about typos, but I'm slightly self-conscious now that anyone could be watching. Oh, an arc of a mutex. When you want to modify data that might be accessed from multiple places, an Arc Mutex. Okay, so Arc allows for multiple ownership of the data. Yeah, that's an automatic reference counting. I know that from Swift. And Mutex provides mutual exclusion to ensure that only one thread can access the data at the same time. I wonder if that will fix the problem then. Oh yeah, and then you can apply these changes to the actual buffer, which is cool. And it's kind of difficult to read that. I'll just accept it and hope that that is Command Option B. How do I toggle that pane there? Command Option B. That is not working. Oh, because I have another, does something else. All right, that seems to work. Cool. So, issues lock, a mutex guard, issue. All right, that's pretty fancy. Iter mute returns an iterator that allows modifying each value that seems to exist on the mutex guard. And then I find, okay, that makes sense to me. There's the Scala-ism. I don't know about the pipes. The pipes make me sad. But maybe it's better. Maybe I'm sure you get used to any of these syntactic things. And they have options, so that's great. If let, okay, and in if let, that's nice. So it just won't do anything if it can't find it. That's pretty cool. Issues.lock. I wonder, what if I didn't have the mutex? Is it even possible to do? I'm just going to try to, let me just bring back the chat. Come back, chat. I'm just going to ask for some alternatives because I'd like to learn something and not just copy paste. So yeah. Are there any alternatives? Solutions. Yep. A ref cell with RC. For single-threaded scenarios, RC ref cell. RC is a reference counted pointer for shared ownership of immutable data, and a ref cell provides interior mutability. Okay. It's not thread safe, though. Okay, so it seems like an arc of a mutex seems to be, maybe that's the way to do it? I don't really know. Or you can have, okay, that seems like a completely different architecture, but I appreciate its attempt. Is arc, mutex, whatever, a common pattern? Anything else an arc would wrap? Yes, it's a common pattern indeed. Okay. All right. Anyways, it's only a test implementation, so it definitely doesn't matter. A read-write lock. But yeah, I'll take the mutual exclusivity lock. And yeah, so cool. It forces me to make sure it's locked. That's fancy. I mean, I miss Zio and refs, but that's okay. This is all good. All right, so I know it's also possible, I do believe, to make tests for these kinds of things in line. So I'm going to ask for tests. And, oh, I need a way to create issues, though. Perhaps. I mean, I may as well. Or I could just sort of fake it out from my in-memory issue service. Impl issue service for... Oh no, I just want to have an impl create issue. Let's see what it does there. Self-issue. In-memory issue. Okay. Huh. What's that here? Use of moved. Oh, one of these problems. Yes. Oh yeah, because it probably can't return an issue. I'll just have it return nothing. So it'll just create an issue internally. Sweet. And so it has to get the issues, lock, and unwrap it. Now, why does it have to unwrap it? How can it fail? If another user of this mutex panicked. Okay. This function might panic if called already, if the lock is already held by the current thread. Oh, that doesn't sound great. Is there a re-entrant thing? Anyway, well, we'll see. Hopefully we don't panic. And now I will have it create some tests. Create tests for this. All right. Okay, did it up there? Beautiful. Tokyo test. Okay, definitely. I don't know if it's deleting my code to replace it with these tests. Or just shifted it all down. Okay, that's... I'm guessing tests usually occur beneath the things they're testing. And yes, and I don't have Tokyo. So I'm guessing I need to add Tokyo. So I'll pop down into the old terminal area and do cargo add Tokyo. And I probably need to do even more things. Cargo add Tokyo test. So this is what I'm going to do. And luckily the AI exists down here too, which is pretty fancy. Cargo check. That is not something... I think I need to add a feature. How to add a feature. Oh, you know what? AI fix in chat. There we go. Aha! Dependencies. Test util. Okay, so I'll go to the cargo toml and say, do it here, please. I accept. Yay! No, I'm not switching to Team Rust. I'm just trying it out. I want to make a command line tool, and I've already written my own like Scala native command line tool thing, but it's annoying because I can't use it with Zio or other things because they don't support Scala native yet, and I also tried to get it to work with Graal VM, but that's also a bucket of worms. So I decided, you know what, let me experiment with Rust just a little bit, just to learn, expand my brain a little bit. I was also looking recently at the Z text editor, which I'm not using right now because it is still pretty early, but it's a cool project, and they had a really interesting, they have a YouTube channel where they went over some interesting data structures, like there's a thing called a sum tree and their implementation of ropes, and those were fancy. So I don't know, I was feeling a little inspired. But no, I'm still a Scala all the way. This is, I'm just dabbling. Just to learn some new things. Because yeah, I'm sure there are things that Rust does way better than Scala. I mean, I appreciate the tooling. I like tests in the same file. That's pretty cool. Collocated tests are very nice. What else is nice? I like the simplicity of their traits and impls versus the 10,000 ways you could do it in Scala. Like, it's nice that they don't even have classes also. That's pretty cool. Its simplicity is kind of nice. I mean, obviously there's a lot of complexity too, and I wouldn't probably build a web app in this just yet, but it's hard to say. I don't know. I just want to remain flexible. So my tests pass. I don't know what the tests are, of course, because I didn't write them, but they pass. So let me see if I can understand them. So I make a new mutex arc. That's oof. This is almost more painful than doing like a manual free encodings, or when you're doing recursion schemes in Scala, just wrapping everything in 2 wrappers. But it makes sense. So we have 2 issues. The calling of toString on strings is always, I gotta remember what that's about. toString for stir. Yeah, there's stir and there's toString and there's slices of stirs. I guess that's a binary. It's like an embedded, I don't know, location in the binary. I forget. And then this is more of a mutable string. And we need that, I guess, in case we mutate them. So that's fun. Definitely confusing, weird naming to have stir and string both, but that's okay. It's hard to make a perfect language. The macro for creating vectors is interesting as well. I don't love Rust macros because I think you can kind of just type anything in them. Like you don't get, I can't hit Command P in here and it can't tell me the arguments, unlike it does like with the struct that's surrounding it, which is, I like having that. And in macros, because it's simply just like pattern matching on arbitrary, really any kind of syntax, I believe, it can't give you hints. Maybe that's just a current limitation and tooling can fix that, but that's definitely something I don't love. So we're making a couple issues, and then constructing an in-memory service with those issues, and then getting all the issues and awaiting them because we're in an async block, which makes sense. And I guess I don't have to unwrap it because it doesn't fail. This is safe. Forget how to make this, I guess, a result type. And cool. And then yeah, that makes total sense. And it passes. Oh, and I can just run that. I like that. And then what's this one? Comment on issue. Yeah, so it adds a comment. It awaits. Then we can just directly, yeah, we don't have to call get all issues, I guess. Why don't I just do that though? All issues. Because that'll be even easier. I don't need to access the internals. How dare you? Test. Yeah, no, same here. Cool. So that makes sense to me, I think. I'm learning some stuff. Arcs mutexes is a way of having some mutable state. I wonder if we've created or updated 1,000 issues simultaneously. I'm guessing that would be safe due to the mutex on all sorts of threads. Not too bad. And yeah, I'm just putting create issue inside of this impl because I don't want it to be shared now, so I could just make all my implementations really small if I make other ones. Okay, well that's that one. Let's quickly make a GitHub service. I would like to also know how I should organize these things. No refactoring tools available. That's super annoying. I wonder if I could just sort of wrap this whole thing up in a mod issue service, and then it would let me refactor it. Go. Yay. But I think also if I want to, I would like subfolders. Subfolders are nice. But for now, I won't worry about that. Okay, so I'm going to make a new thing here. Oh, so one other thing that's really cool about this cursor business is that you can like reference other files. So I could say, look at issue service, and then I can tell it to create a VCS service with a create merge request and comment on merge request method. Follow the pattern of the issue service where I have a generic trait, a test implementation, and tests. Hey, good question. Hey, Adam. What am I building? I will show you momentarily. Well, what is the AI building is really the question. But I'm facilitating it. You know, I'm stoking the fire. Where did my image go? Boom. I'm building this. Unbelievable. Basically, it's something I built, a little CLI that I built a couple of times in the past. Once in Haskell, I think like 5 years ago. But a tool, it's contrived in this case. I don't really need it at this moment in my life, but I wanted to have some task to do that I knew was accomplishable. So basically you have your issue trackers like Jira. At a job a long time ago, I think we used Jira and we used, I think, GitLab. And the process was I would have to open up GitLab in the browser, copy the issue name, create a branch after that issue. And then when I was done, I would need to open a pull request, you see, and name that pull request after the issue, and then have the name of the pull request be like the issue name. And then also in the pull request have a comment that said it closes this issue and have a link back to Jira. And then and then also comment on the Jira or the Jira ticket back. And what it could do, and what I did in Haskell, because I was working on a full stack project at the time, is that I would often have multiple projects that were all working on the same issue because it was a full stack issue that crossed back end and front end, and it would actually know, it would track all of the projects that you opened branches with, and it would sort of make a multi-merge request, or it would make a merge request from each project into each, from each repo into each full local repo into the, it would open all the merge requests it had to, and then it would cross-reference them in each merge request, and then post them all to the issue. So yeah, a silly thing, but for some reason it's not like a, and they're like existing integrations too, which is so stupid, but no one seems to use them because they probably cost money. So just building a CLI seems like a fun project, and maybe this would be useful generally. I have no idea. There's an internal tool at Amazon. This could be the open source alternative. But yeah, a surprisingly simple and problem, but widespread, and it's like it's not painful enough for people to scratch it. I think it's just like it's something you just sort of tolerate forever. So why not ply our craft against itself and build a little CLI thing? But mostly it's just something I could probably do in Rust. I was hoping. I was kind of wanted to see what is it like to build something that I'm very familiar with building in Zio, which is like multiple services, and then I'll probably eventually if this were Zio, I would want to have some kind of app service that depended on the issue service and the VCS service and the Git service, which compose them together, and these would all be generic or traits. But I'm not sure how that would work in Rust. So I've yet to build. The next step would be to make an app service. Yeah, that's a whole other tier. That's before my time. I came long after the GitHub days, I guess. I feel blessed, or rather, maybe like I lost out on a much hackier frontier. So let's see what this does. A merge request. I think so. Yeah. So far, I've facilitated the building of this here issue service, and it has a type member. Whoa, just like Scala. Do you eat, sleep, and breathe category theory? No, no. I barely chew on it. It was fun. Like, I don't know. I'm not a category theorist. Yeah. No, I'm truly quite ignorant. I've read a lot. I've read like not primary resources, but second-hand resources. Like I've read Sandy. I've read other people who are the true. I've read bloggers, and I've bumped off of Bartosh's blog, but I don't understand a lot of that. I've read that book like 3 times, and each time I make it another, 100 pages, but I've not gotten to the end yet. Anyway, I'm going to make a new file. Hopefully that's safe to do in Rust, and call it VCS service. I don't like that name at all. And I'm going to paste in what the AI did, and it seems to be working, except for the fact that nothing is compiling, because apparently this is a weird thing. You have to link to that file from main, like main is special, and I think like lib is special too, and then the folder structure is weird. Not everything just gets connected magically, which maybe is a nice thing. I don't know. So VCS service, the question is, does it pass the tests? And it does. So once again, I don't know what the tests are, but it looks like it just tests each of those methods. So yeah, it creates a thing, and it comments on a thing. Okay, I'm curious. When it calls create merge request, it does get back an MR. Does MR implement clone? It does. So it can be cloned, and it doesn't need to be edited, I guess. No, it does. I'm guessing it's cloning it here. MR lock. Oh yeah. So it's pushing the clone into the MR lock. Cool. Okay, this warrants some reading from me. And I don't know if this is completely unidiomatic or what, but I'm hoping the AI absorbed some idioms from the ether. Okay, so it has two arc mutexes, so it's just fully going in on the pattern of a reference counted mutex, and it's using that for an ID. Yeah, I guess I can't just throw a var ID in here. It wouldn't like that. Maybe I could use a UUID or something, but whatever. Merge requests. I wonder if it's possible to... Oh, next ID. Self.next ID. Oh, okay. But then it needs to update that. Maybe I can make a function called... yeah. I'm not really sure what to call it. Maybe I'll just ask the AI. Create a method, or an FN, to increment inc and get the next ID. Cool. And, oh, no, not cool. Oh, because it has to, yeah, it can't exist there. It's that, this is a weird part about having impls for itself in memory VCS service. But I guess that's okay. And then I think I can use that here. And then maybe just do that. Hopefully that's safe. That's not true. It is used. I'm using it right here. You can see it being used. Current ID. So it looks like you can get a pointer to the thing. Oh, yeah, no. We're dereferencing it. I'm sure... Wait, am I dereferencing it? Okay, I am. I'm not sure if that was just being filled. It's the same color as the phantom text there. Okay, so I'm getting the current value out and then updating the actual lock. And I guess when this goes out of scope, the lock will be released. Probably mentions that. That looks correct. All right. Are you, have you done much Rust, Adam? So yeah, that seems reasonable then. Comment on merge request. Okay, and then it gets the MR lock. Iter mute find. Comments push, comment to string. I like it. Went to John's workshop. Oh, nice. Oh, you were at LambdaConf. Oh, yes, you gave a talk with Mr. Ward. That's super cool. I can't wait to see the video. And you're just like killing it on Keo too. I've got to get back to Keo. I shouldn't even be. What am I doing with Rust? I don't know if you're into pairing, but if you ever want to pair sometime in some Keo stuff, I would be very down. I miss the old days of when I was doing the Zio open source. And Keo is just super fresh. And man, Flavio is a machine. Been looking at the PRs. He's just optimizing it all. It's very exciting. Yeah, I should be... Okay, next time I stream, I will stream Keo and not Rust things. But I'll save this for my private stuff. But now that I have both of my services, time to ask, time to prompt like a madman. So I'm going to go to issue service and VCS service and tell the AI to, what should I tell it to do? Create, I don't even really know. Create a new service that uses these services to first create I forget what methods I have available to myself. What did I do? For issue service, I can comment on an issue that first creates a merge request and then comments on its merge request for an issue Then comments on, yes, that to given an issue ID. First creates a merge request for that issue named after it, and then comments on its associated issue with its information. I don't really know. Give it a shot. I just don't know, like, would this be a struct? I'm guessing it would be a struct because that's all there is. Just like call it app service, something like that. I do have a trait. I know. Integrated service. Aha, it is a struct. Okay. And they're going to be arcs. I don't want them to be arcs. That sounds awful. Is that necessary? Do all services have to be arcs? I guess I get it. Because, yeah, otherwise it would be a memory leak. And there's no garbage collection. Garbage collection. Cool. Well, let's do it. I'm gonna apply it to this file. Go! Cool. Accept. Go away. Boo boo boo. All right. Why is this sad? Oh, it's private. Okay. This is another cool feature. I'm going to try this software. First, I'm going to commit my changes just so I don't lose all this stuff, because this next thing I'm about to do is quite renegade behavior. Okay. Hell, I'm going to, yeah, whip. Perfect first name. Okay. I committed in the background. And now I'm going to try to tell it to fix an, I could say fix an AI chat, but I want to do this. There's a special interpreter mode where I can say, make everything public. Yes. Yes. So it edited this file for me. And now it's going into another file. I'm going to jump over here, and it's already pubifying everything. It's probably pubifying too much, because I really did say make everything public, including, I guess, all my test functions. Yes! Yes! Power. Cool. Now, this is like Scala semantics. This is what I want. I'll tell you when I want it to be private. I don't want to say pub all the time like I'm an Irishman. Thank you. Publicly visibility. You're so sweet. So that's pretty sick. I don't know. I like that. Now it's not sad. Okay. And then next thing I want to know is yeah, I guess create a test for the integrated service, and just create a test, and I'll just do that. Create some tests for the integrated service with codebase. Go. So hopefully it can read all the files and then figure out what it needs to instantiate. Oh, well, of course that's broken. So, oh, because it just needs to implement display. Yes. I can derive that, right? Merge request. Cool. So where's merge request? Merge request. Oh, but it's a trait. Do I have to say display? Oh. Oh, they're not permitted here. Okay, it really pubbed far too much. Oh, it pubbed like crazy. You don't need to pub all that stuff. It pubbed out. Probably everything's broken. I guess that's the danger of telling AI to just modify your entire code base. Okay, so I will go back to main, where my integrated service lives, and I will have it add the tests here. Go! Is it going? Oh yeah, continue. Hmm. Oh yeah, I didn't want... Wait a second, it re-implemented itself. So that's not... It did not do it right. I should probably... yeah, no. Go away. Sometimes it's stupid. Because I want this implementation. Let me actually read what it did. So it has these arcs. Yeah, geez. I would like to ask it about that. Maybe this is just not how you're supposed to structure Rust code, like it's Zio. Probably not. Is this standard for Rust? If I want to create a service that depends on other services, they're wrapped in arcs. I guess I shouldn't complain too much. You know, back in Zio, everything was wrapped in has, and everything's wrapped in Zio as well. Wrapping is a fact of life. Yes, wrapping services in Arc standard and effective if they need to share ownership. Yeah, okay, fine. I can deal with that, I guess. So now I'll just tell it to create tests for this. Using issue in-memory issue service and in-memory VCS service. Go. But yeah, it creates the merge request, gets the ID, and then adds a comment on the issue key. Seems reasonable. Futures. Mock implementation. Huh. I would like to use the real implementations, but let's see. I'll copy this. Oh yeah, because there already are services. RT. Oh, block on. Really? I'm sure there's a better way of writing async tests. Fix this to work better with async. I'm using Tokyo. I think in the other file there was. I want to block on this. There must be like I think it was a Tokyo test. Yeah, there we go. Async FN. Way better. So the integrated service contains each of those. I can create those with... what do I expect now? So this will create a merge request and comment on an issue, but it needs the issue. So first I need to issue service.create issue. Yes, let issue key. Is that safe to do? Okay, it is. And then I need... There are no merge requests. Next ID is 1. Okay, so then the other assertions should be assert that the issue has been moved to in progress. I don't think that's entirely what it does. Did I have it do that? No, it does not. The issue has a comment Is that what it says? Created a merge request. MR1. For sure. Okay, let's test it. Uh-oh. Unused imports. Display not found in the scope. Oops. Okay. Import. Is that possible? No. How does one do that? I guess manually? Oh yeah, I guess manually. All right. I don't... Can one derive display? .w.2. I'm not sure what that means. No, you cannot derive. Oh, okay, that's fair. All right, sure. Issue service, get issue. Get all issues. Okay, now, oh, what's sad here? Make it better. Oh, yes. Tokyo? Or standard? Standard mutex. What's sad here? Oh, yep, that needs to be arc. It's the wrapping of everything is quite painful. Do. Oh, it's not a future. Okay. Oh, it doesn't need a mutex. It just needs to be an arc. What is sad about that? Oh, the issues need to be wrapped. There we go. New. Okay. There we go. Aha. Now that is an await. Borrow of moved value issue service. Borrow occurs due to deref coercion. Okay, this is where it's getting all rusty. It is very confusing. Oh, I can clone it before passing it to the issue service. Okay. Is that happy now? Test handled, test fail. Oh god, something exploded terribly. Panicked? Oh no, it's not bad. It's just different. Created a merge request. Merge request 1. Issue 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's fine. I mean, it's just a weird... I guess my merge request implementation just has a strange... Oh, because it is... issue ID. Yeah, I guess the implementation here must just be weird. Title to string. What was it? It was merge request MR1 or something? Really bad test output. I'm sure something bad is happening here. Merge request 1. Issue 123. All right. Yay, all the tests pass. Okay, there must be something wrong with that output. Anyway, that was fun. But yeah, there's still a lot to learn here. And thank you for watching. I'm going to peace out. Streaming is hard. But yeah, bonsoir.